The same critics who visited the border are taking fresh aim at the Trump administration over this video that's now gone viral of Ivanka Trump, the president's daughter and White House advisor, sort of inserting herself into a conversation between world leaders, including President of the IMF, Christine Lagarde, getting the cold shoulder. Just one instance during Trump's recent trip where he put his daughter front and center and inserted her into a role that's normally reserved for VIPs and top diplomats. Now, this is making major waves at home. That's a bit of an understatement. Let's go to Arthi Pohl, who's working out of our Washington bureau for us this morning. What exactly is, again, just so we understand why this is, people are seeing it as inappropriate, what is her role?
Well, good morning, Heather. It's interesting because her actual role, and I printed out the description from the White House website specifically, and in it, it says that Ivanka Trump is an advisor to the president, and that in her role, she focuses on education, economic empowerment of women and their families, as well as job creation. Then in the description, it lists her as an entrepreneur and as a member of the Trump organization. Nowhere does it speak about any experience in terms of diplomacy, foreign relations, national security. We know that even though this image you're looking at now might fool you, she is not a member of Trump's cabinet. She is not part of the National Security Council, and that is one of the reasons why it is raising so many eyebrows on this side of the border and really on the world stage too, as you watch her have these what are being called awkward interactions with world leaders and being really put front and center at high-profile summits such as the G20 summit that took place over the weekend, and also when we watch the U.S. president and in fact also his daughter step into the DMZ, the first time that a sitting U.S. president has done something like that. And so we know that there are a lot of questions that are being raised right now about what her role is and whether or not she should be so high profile in such a high profile position and also so prominently placed in these photographs and even at these meetings at the first place.
So we're talking about this morning, Arthi, even though it's been several days now since these first images surfaced, but people are continuing to talk about it. They're continuing to be concerned about it. What are people saying there in Washington today?
And you know, Heather, you're right. This is a question, too, that has been raised several times before because she formally took on this role as senior advisor back in 2017. She was recently given the sort of security clearance that one may not think that someone in her role may get. But we know that here commentators, lawmakers, critics have been quite vocal about the fact that having her so prominently placed and even attending these sorts of summits undermines the Trump administration, that her being part of the U.S. delegation simply doesn't make sense. Now, there was one tweet that went out, for example, from a Democratic representative, and here is what she had to say. And this is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez saying it may be shocking to some, but being someone's daughter actually isn't a career qualification. It hurts our diplomatic standing when the president phones it in and the world moves on. The U.S. needs our president working the G20, bringing a qualified diplomat couldn't hurt either. So that is some of the criticism that we're seeing, and that's just a small bit of it. We know that also it has been discussed on the talk shows in Washington, in the United States. Now, the White House, for its part, has also reacted to this and has defended Ivanka Trump's presence at these sort of summits. And in part, here is their statement where they, in fact, call the critics haters. They say it is sad, but not shocking that the haters choose to attack Ivanka Trump, a senior advisor to the president, when she is promoting U.S. efforts to empower women through strategic partnerships with world leaders. So no indication here that the White House administration intends to change anything about her role or where Ivanka Trump travels.